Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Four Guys on Sports is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are here, week 2 of the National Football League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Gordon, don't sound so damned excited.
Hey, man. Yeah, you got the birthday boy right here.
Birthday.
Oh, celebrity birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you about, 35, 39, 40, something like that?
There you go. Yeah, that's close enough. Same with my kids catching up.
That's almost as bad as thinking that Cleveland can beat Kansas City.
Oh, Lord. Did we underestimate Mahomes, or did we overestimate Baker?
I'm going to tell you the truth. My thought on this, let me put us all on the air here. There's an old adage that I use all the time, and I've probably used it on this show a couple million times before. Football is a game of inches and errors. If you get the most inches and the least errors, you're going to win the game. And that proved it right there. If that fumble wouldn't have happened, you go back to some of the other games where it went bad right from the start. Except this time it went bad from 5 minutes and some seconds left. When you start having a comedy errors, it's all going to go downhill from there. The fumble by Chubb, the kick, that end zone interception. This is where, they didn't. My look at this is they didn't finish the damn game. If they would have finished the game like they started it, Cleveland would have won that game by 44 or whatever.
I agree.
I think, but it wasn't. Those were just a few of the errors. To me, the most egregious errors were the underthrown and overthrown balls down the stretch. It was a ton of them. I recorded the game. I should have just put the thing on play for us, man. It was awful passes, awful decisions, wide open receivers down the field. Man, you got to make those. There's no reason. There's never an excuse when a receiver has his defender beat that a ball should drop, 6 feet in front of you. It should never be that short when you're wide open. Inexcusable. And if that ball is caught, Cleveland's going to win the game anyway. But to be quite frankly, I think Cleveland got beside themselves after the first quarter because it started crumbling at pretty much at the end, in the middle of the second quarter. You could see the tide shifting. It was they were awful they were awful they played 1.5 quarters of football, and the rest of the game they stunk. Period. They were coasting off of what they did in the first quarter and a half. That's the only reason why the score was close.
You know what? And I kind of disagree with you there because of this. And I say this right here. Okay, let's look at how many times Cleveland's quarterback was under duress, and all we heard about was that great offensive line. Now, let's look at how many times Mahomes was under duress versus them. Now, And I must, I'm eating my words here because I didn't believe KC's defense was going to play as well as they did. They made stops down the stretch. Then the other thing is this: that one pass to Tyreek Hill, the boy was falling out of bounds, and that defender lost sight of the ball. He never even saw the ball coming. Okay, there's too many, And to say this, if you go back and critique the game and look at quarterback rating, I'm sure Baker's quarterback rating was great. Now I'll say this: it's a
And it
lot
didn't
harder
matter.
to throw a ball under duress than it is when you have a clean pocket to throw it in. So
But you
you
got to
got to think
be,
about that. If you can't step fully up and throw the ball because there's a guy up in your face, the ball may be short.
you have to be a better quarterback. He's
The
built to
ball,
be a better.
Nate, there's no quarterback
Get
in
it,
the
man.
world. There's no quarterback in the
Get
world
it.
that can make passes
Forget it.
when the guy is under duress like that. If you can't step up and throw the ball,
Look, part of being a great quarterback is you have to help yourself some too. The line can only do but so much. Holmes is efficient. Holmes had a great game because Holmes done most of it. The reason why Holmes is running around scrambling is because he's preventing, he's making it look like, oh, he's wide open, he's not under duress. Those
Well,
guys are coming at, that's why he's not standing in the pocket.
hey,
Most of what Holmes is
what happened?
most of what Holmes is doing, he's doing it on the run.
What
I'm
happened to
saying
the original left tackle for the Browns? He got injured, and that's when it went downhill too.
that's what you're not thinking about. Right there, he was under duress more than Mahomes was under duress, Nate.
bottom line is this, man. They played a quarter and a half of football and they coasted thinking that, oh man, we're better than these guys. And you know what? But look at this historically, from a historical perspective now. Kansas City is what? A come from behind team anyway. So I don't know why we're really that shocked because you can never count those guys out anyway. They do that a lot. Mahomes starts from behind a lot. And he really starts from behind in big games, important games. And I felt like this was a big game, an important game
Oh,
because because this game was like um, this number one, this was the playoff rematch. Number two, this
well,
is a team in Cleveland that everyone, or at least there is a great number of people that is expecting Cleveland to really challenge Kansas City to come out, and they melted to me. They will not, Cleveland, if Cleveland continues this, the way they played, if you're going to play a quarter and a half of football, they are not, man, they stunk. You're looking at a quarter and a half of football, a quarter and a half.
Now, Skip, I mean Nate. Uh, uh,
you- I
You
know
probably
Skip is
skip.
more for the Browns,
but no,
he's
no,
more,
but
more
he's
Stephen A. Smith right here.
but my thing is this. Okay,
Stunk.
John brought up the thing right there. Okay, that prize winning offensive line. Okay, they came up short several times. All right, now with that being said, let's go back. If you go back and look at his quarterback rating, how many times knocked down, how many times under pressure, and I'm gonna say this also. Now, no one came in here and said that Baker is a better quarterback than Mahomes. Okay,
We
no
know
one
that.
no one said that. Now, with that being said, there was so many other points in that game where they fell short. The team, as a team, they fell short as a team. They lost that game as a team. You're blaming
That's
on
the
Baker because
that's the
you don't
nature
like
of
Baker.
Hey, I blame.
no, that's the nature. That is the nature of team sports. It is a team win and a team loss. But who gets the lion's share of the blame? The most important position on the field. That is Baker Mayfield. Forget Nick Chubb and them. And Nick Chubb wasn't all
Hey,
that great. He stunk
I
too.
blame the defense.
But I'm like,
They didn't get
look,
no
he
pressure
stunk
early
too.
on.
He
Look,
said Nick Chubb stunk that
he
game.
stunk,
Uh,
man. He wasn't there.
What game were you watching,
I
Nate?
don't I don't care about the first
What game
quarter and
were
a
you
half of play.
watching?
I'm
You you
talking about
you
down
going
the
off
stretch.
emotion, man. You're not going
No,
off of
man.
factual here.
You
You're
looking
going
at
off of
the
your
first.
emotion. You're going off of the game as a fan.
No, you looking at the first quarter and a half of play. They after that the game was they stunk after that. The first quarter and a half they played terrific. They played great the first quarter and a half. But when it counted, when the game was really on the hook, when it was being challenged, that's when they crumbled under pressure. And as far as Baker crumbled under pressure. Look at those throws down the stretch of the game. They weren't good. He had one good throw down the stretch of the game. That was not, and yes, he had some pressure on him. That is the nature of the game, to put some pressure on him a little bit. The thing is this is a whole lot of things were overrated. Yes, the offensive line was overrated. Yes, Cleveland's defense appeared to be overrated, at least for this early in the season. Okay.
There is your key point right there. This was the first game of the season. I watched almost all the everything I could get my hands on this past Sunday, and I was very amused that Cleveland overall looked better than Baltimore. They looked better even in that in that Monday night game. They looked better than the Vegas Raiders. I mean, push come to shove here, they needed a little more. I think they needed a little more practice, and this BS about not playing anybody over the preseason needs to stop. I think that was part of the problem. But Cleveland had no rust, or very little, and it just looked more like fatigue and errors than it was anything else. And I'm going to tell you the truth. When that coach touched that Cleveland Browns player on the sideline, they should have kicked his ass out too. There ain't no way that coach should have been on there. If it was going to affect our team, it should have affected theirs too, because they were as guilty as we were.
Agreed.
Even more so. Right there. Even more so as a coach.
He knew better. But it's like Stefanski said in one of the interviews this week. He says, it's always the second person that gets caught. There you go. That player retaliated on that coach. The next thing he's ejected from the game.
That was inexcusable though, because they went back to look at the tape again in New York. They looked at the tape and they made the decision that, hey, wait a minute, no, he should be penalized. But I'm like, okay, you went and looked at the tape, so you had a better look at it, and you couldn't make a better assessment than that. To me, it should have just been if you're going to only penalize one side, just don't penalize anything. Hey, cut out the foolishness, guys. Let's play ball, and that should have been it.
Yeah, that 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike by the bench was a little absurd to me.
It was a game. I agree. It was a lot of mistakes. But what I'm saying is that I'm not overlooking the fact that this was a big game. This was a very big game. It was the first game, but this was an important game against Kansas City. This was a big game. And what I'm saying here is that the pressure of the moment, it was too much, and Cleveland choked down the stretch. And that fourth quarter was laughable.
You know what? And you're right, Nate. I agree. Because you know what? We saw the same thing from Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
To some degree, absolutely.
But realistically, this is what I'm going to say. I'm watching the game from the point of, and I am a fan. I'm a Browns fan. But I'm watching the game from a different perspective. Okay. I'm looking at it up front. First quarter, like that.
It's great.
Cleveland running the ball down their throat. What do? They load up the box. What happens? Baker's having a field day. Now, when the game gets tight, down the stretch, and don't get me wrong, it was a good, Cleveland had a great balance. And down the stretch, when they know that he has to throw the ball, you know what they're doing? Now, granted, there were some mistakes made because he should have been doing more check down instead of trying to throw the ball way down the field. And I agree. But what they did was this. They dropped back. A lot of that, Chubb them wasn't even in the game. Only reason they were in there is to max pass protect. That was the only reason they were there, because what happened then is we're throwing the ball. We're not running the ball because they would have got the run. They would have got big runs. But what they did was this. Okay, now we're going to drop back. We're going to drop back more men in coverage than you have receivers to throw the ball to. But at the same time, we're able to get pressure on you. So I'm going to say this. One thing, down the stretch, I think KC was coached better. And I will say this. I underestimated their defense because they got stops when they really needed to. Now, on a daily basis, up and down the field, they're gonna be able to get the ball down there. But the other problem with Cleveland is this. Besides the fact that their defense, that we getting our safety thrown out early in the game, hey, he's a game changer safety too. But okay, the other thing of it is this. Down the stretch, you got to be able to, and you're right, Nate. Yeah, you need to be able to make some plays. But there was some on that defensive end. That catch to Tyree, that should have been an interception. No one's talking about that. Again, that should have been an interception. Nobody's talking about that. He was in position to. It was an easy interception. Nobody's talking about that. So my thing is this. Down the stretch, they was able to get the pressure on him. And I don't care what quarterback it is. I've seen Tom Brady when he was under pressure. Guess what? He didn't make as many plays as he made when he wasn't under pressure.
I hear that, and I agree with that. But look at it like this. Here's the thing. It's a lot of things. First of all, Cleveland, in any game of that nature, they will do the same thing. They need a cultural change. Let me explain it. I'm going to explain this to you. Okay. Here's what's going on. They have been losers for so long. Okay. They have not built proper winning habits. What I mean by that, the reason why he did not come up with an interception is because that's not how that is, would be extraordinarily ambitious for that franchise. At best, they're going to knock a ball down. A winner, someone who has it in them that believes that they should win, that they like, it's like they feel it's their right, they're privileged to win. They play with a different level of aggression, and their thing is that I'm taking it. Knocking the ball down or touching it or fumbling. There was a couple passes I thought should have been interceptions, to be quite frankly. But it's the culture of Cleveland. They've had a losing culture for so long. They're trying to change that. They don't have the right habits yet within them in order to win a game. Because even with that game, yes, there were so many things or so many reasons why I think they lost. And most of them come to the fact that they choked, but they choked because it is not ingrained in them. They don't have a winning culture yet. They're still quote unquote overachieving because they don't believe yet. They don't believe they belong. They don't believe they deserve. They're not taking anything, and that's the reason why Kansas City came back. Kansas City took that game. And that's the difference. It's because of the culture. It's because they believe it was a matter of pride. With Cleveland, for them, winning the game would have been an admiration for them. They would have been, oh man, we won it. They're not there yet. This was a mental loss. And those mistakes that were made, those shortcomings were mental. Those are choke types of mistakes. They need a cultural shift. They have to change. They have to start believing what everybody is saying about them. The reason why they were predicted to be that high is because they have the talent there, but right now the talent hasn't translated into actual wins, or at least I know it's early that first game. They had everything they needed to win that game, but they didn't have the right frame of mind. They had a choker and a loser's mentality. That's what I'm saying. And it showed right there.
Okay.
That's the reason why.
I'm gonna say this though, okay? Because now I just want to clear this up because I felt like you were placing the lion's share of the blame on Baker unjustly because and I believe that with all my heart because first off, you don't like Baker. You've made that clear. You do not like Baker. No, you've made that clear.
Why do you?
Don't crawfish. Don't crawfish. I know it. Sean knows it.
No,
Pat knows it. Don't crawfish.
no.
You do not
Listen,
like Baker.
no, I think he's okay. I think that Baker. No, do I like Aaron Rodgers? Would I prefer to have Aaron Rodgers over Baker? Absolutely. Come on, would I like to have Mahomes over Baker? Of course. I mean, Tom Brady over Baker. Oh, come on, for sure. What I'm saying is no, even Dak Prescott over Baker. Absolutely. What I'm saying, Russell Wilson over Baker. Yes. No, what I'm saying is Joe Burrow over Baker. No, it's not that I don't like Baker. There's quarterbacks that I would not take over Baker. You understand what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is Baker is, to me, he's not that dude for a squad that is this loaded that could win a Super Bowl this year. They needed more than that. He's not that guy. Can he get there? I don't know. I don't know if he can get there. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's not that kind of quarterback. With this roster that he has, this is a roster for a stud. I mean, come on. I mean, they should be Super Bowl contenders for real.
You know what? I'm gonna say this though, and because you are president of the Baker fan Baker hater club, but
Look, Baker.
But I'm saying this, Nate, think about this. Think about this though.
Not a great.
Had they been playing in Cleveland, it may have been a different story. And somebody's got to win this game. Somebody's got to lose this game. Now, I'm gonna say that. But on a given day, don't rule these. I think you're selling them short. Now, the other thing of it is this, and you're right in the fact that yes, they have more of a winning mentality because most of those guys on that squad have already been there. They have already been there. I agree with you on that. You know, when you've been there, you tend to know more of what it takes to get there. Now, with that being said, you know, from each individual, you know, because and then it comes collectively. But you're right in that. Now, that whole pick situation right there, I think if what's his name hadn't been thrown out the game, I think that would have been an interception. I think it would have been an interception. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot easier for the receiver because I know where the ball's being thrown. You got to watch me. Don't get me wrong, but there are guys out there that could do that. You know, in the old days, ever been time he may have been going back to the house on. You know, there's just, but the thing of it is when it comes down to it, you know, the studs are going to make plays, and you're right. They're going to make plays, you know. Now, if the defensive studs outperform your offensive studs, then guess what? You know, and KC got some good pieces, and they didn't even have their full defensive roster. They're better players out there. Now, with all that being said, and don't get me wrong, because that ball that he threw to Tyreek Hill, most quarterbacks, that's not a ball you even throw. That's not a ball you even throw. They're in but probably maybe two in the league to throw a ball like that falling out of bounds. Brady don't throw one like that. Brady don't have the arm strength to throw one like that. Yes, he's accurate, and he's a good quarterback.
Sure.
You know, but now.
But
anything else on the
Browns? Let me pause you just a second there. You just made a statement. Let me pause you. You just made a statement that wasn't true. I got to stop you.
All right.
Last year, Brady led the league in down the field passes. Distance. So I just wanted to put that out there so that, you know, rebutts that. So Brady does have the arm strength.
Right. But Brady doesn't throw pass. You look at Brady. Brady's passes are fundamental passes.
Yeah, but he led the league in down.
He's a fundamental, and you look at how much time he gets to throw the ball. Face off. First off, excuse me, not how much time he throws it quick. But let me tell you this: Brady is the least touched quarterback in the NFL. Check your stats on that. Check your stats. He's the least pressured and the least touched.
Okay, but could that have something to do with how smart he is as a player?
Look at this. If you put we saw what Baker Mayfield done when they gave him time.
Underthrow pass by
any quarterback in the NFL. When you give them time,
I hear you.
There was
Even
some
though I
positives
We
respectfully
actually-
in the game,
disagree.
I thought, too.
We actually saw that in the Dallas game
Yeah.
when that Dallas and Tampa game.
Yeah.
You couldn't. They couldn't get to Brady to save their damn life for about most of the game. Did he get sacked? No. Did he have to run a little bit? Yeah, well, yeah, but they all do. And that was probably the biggest part that saved Brady anything.
Absolutely. He had 2 pressures.
And as far as that's concerned, when you don't pressure the quarterback, when you don't go at him, this is another thing that I saw. I watched that Super Bowl game with
Thank you.
what's his name in it and Mahomes, and
Thank you.
the thing that I saw that Tampa was doing was they were pressuring the hell out of Mahomes. He was running like a damn chicken.
Yes.
And, as far as turning it around, was Brady doing that? Was it because of his experience in the league and all that horseshit? I don't believe that.
They're scared of him. They're scared to
Maybe so, but he don't get pressure.
I
That's all
think
I'm saying.
I think him having Gronk there and some of the other stuff that they acquired last year was what won them that Super Bowl. Was it experience?
I've been saying it.
Uh,
The defense won in that
Great.
Super Bowl.
I hate to say this, and they make him out to be the best thing since Joe Montana, and I don't think he's that great. He's a just above average quarterback,
Oh gosh. Okay.
and he's just got a good line. It's like, I'm going to tell you what I compare this. I could compare this to Bill Belichick going to New England. Remember when all that happened? They said, "Oh, Bill's the greatest he's the greatest coach in the flipping. He's as good as Lombardi." Horse crap. Lombardi could think, and Lombardi could talk. That damn Belichick does is mumble. Well, hey Bill, what are you having for lunch today? Oh, I'm going, but we're gonna win. It's that kind of mentality. If you put him, Brady got taken into a decent situation down there,
Perfect.
and he flourished in it. When Belichick went to New England, that team was already built for him. He just come in and helped it. He kind of managed it around a little bit. Is he the greatest thing that ever lived as far as a coach? No. Lombardi and all them others back in the day were a hell of a lot better than he ever was. I watched him coach in Cleveland. He wasn't no great thing then, and he ain't no great thing now. But they make him out to be. He's along the lines of Parcells. Well, Parcells built his damn team. Yes, he did. He built that team up there.
So who would you rather have, Stefanski or Belichick?
I'd take Stefanski in a heartbeat. Stefanski's a smart coach. I would take. He's a smart. I've been around Cleveland for a long time. You all know that, and I've seen the smart coaches and I've seen the not so smart ones. The not so smart ones was this last one we had in there.
Okay, so let me ask you this now.
The smartest one we ever had. Let me finish. The smartest one we ever had was probably Schottenheimer, but he kept choking in the playoffs, and I don't know why. He did that here. He did that wherever he went. He choked in the damn playoffs. But he was a smart coach. The other one I can probably equate to that is Butch Davis. But I think Stefanski is smarter than both of those. He's a better coach.
Hey, there was some positives out of this game, though, too, because a couple of those rookies did stand out. Newsom, and then that's Anthony Schwartz, the receiver.
And Newsom had a good
he
game.
Looks like he could be a stud.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. Now, let's go back to the Thursday night game with Dallas. Okay.
Do we have to?
Because we talked about players and who made plays and who didn't and all this, that, and the other. there was a couple plays that no one talked about. Okay, he talked about how great Zeke is, and now Zeke got a bunch of undue criticism, I felt, because Blake Jarwin just they call it a whiff on a block. He didn't look like he even attempted on that play down there near the end zone. He didn't even attempt. So the argument is this: okay, as a defensive end, your first job is what? To contain the end. And he ran down there, in which that's where Zeke had to go because he couldn't cut back up inside because that's where the help is coming from. And he was already there. And this guy that made the play on him, I don't know much about him, but the thing of it is this. There's some plays down the stretch where, it's the same thing we saw with Dak. He got criticized for down the stretch where, and don't get me wrong, he missed some throws. Why? He was under pressure. Now, the other thing of it is this. Y'all giving too much credit or not enough credit to defense. I've been saying that about the Super Bowl win last year. You guys don't give any credit to defense.
Talking about defense for the Cowboys, though, they just lost this week their best player, I think, and that's still Marcus Lawrence to a broken foot.
Broken foot, and then what's his name? What's his name? Gregory on the other side. What's that other boy? They lost their two top pass rushers this week.
Yeah, I don't like early season injury.
And we know that Dallas, with that offensive line, who isn't the greatest, they can put up points with anybody in the league. Now, the flip side of that is, can they run the ball? If they can run the ball, I think they'll be okay. And you don't run the ball against, right now, I want to see how many teams can get 100 yards against the Buccaneers. Teams don't want to run the ball against them. Why? Because they're that good. They're that good. And there again, we got to give credit to defense sometimes, guys. When your defense is so good that they go out there and they say, okay, we're not going to spend that much time on the run because when we do that, we're wasting plays. We're only getting 2 yards. So why waste a play? That's the mindset. Because the thing of this is this. I'm playing your team and I can't run against your team, but I can throw against your team. I'm not going to run. I'll do it enough that you'll say, oh, here's a run so I can throw you with some play action. But I'm not going to run against your team if I can throw against them. Or the other thing, if you can't stop the run and your quarterback is a Patrick Mahomes type quarterback, because let's face it, Patrick Mahomes he's the Steph Curry of the NFL. He got the long range that they score quick. And the other thing of it is, that's another thing that hurt Cleveland is they scored too fast on some of them plays. If they were able to grind the ball out some more, you keep those guys off the field because of this right here. That's like saying you put almost any guy out there as far as scores go against Steph Curry in a 3-point shooting match. Steph is going to win. Steph is going to win. It doesn't matter if you got it doesn't matter if you got Kawhi or some of them other cats. Guess what? Steph will outshoot them. Now, there's other things Steph doesn't do as well as they do. But so that's the reason why you got to look at it from that aspect. If you put Steph Curry up against LeBron James, they can't do nothing but shoot 3-pointers. We all taking Steph.
So talking about football, another game that we played was this Thursday night game, the Giants and the Washington football team. That came down to the end there, man.
And I'm loving this.
Yeah,
we see games decided at the last second of the game.
That actually wasn't on TV up here. I Must
It
have
was
been
on
the
the
NFL.
NFL Network.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
it
I
was hard
thought.
to find. Yeah, 'cause I had to look for it. That was like the battle of the bottom.
Mhm.
I mean, it was a good game. It was a
Yeah.
battle of the bottom, and it
I
came down
actually
to the
pretty
wire.
enjoyed that Ratbirds and Vegas game Monday night. That was a good game. I come in like I said in about the middle of the fourth quarter, and the I had picked Vegas to win. And when it got down to the last couple of seconds, and I thought, oh Jesus, they're going to lose. And then they got into overtime, and there was 2 or 3 times there I thought it was done. But Vegas came back, and I was proud of that. It's not that I don't like Baltimore or anything like that.
The who?
So,
They're right up there with Pittsburgh with me.
right. No,
The-
speaking of
the who?
Pittsburgh,
No, the Who's from the West Coast too, but they did a lot of songs back in the '70s.
Man.
You got to hear some of them, Gord.
Yeah. But hey, you know what though? I want to say this though. Speaking of games, man, how about the New Orleans boys, man? They don't even have a field to play on. And man, because I was expecting Aaron Rodgers to tear him up. Boy,
he stunk it up, didn't he?
he stunk it up.
He looked like Baker. But
Man.
look,
He couldn't
let me ask
carry
y'all-
Baker's jock that game. He couldn't carry mine.
a loss is a loss.
He stunk.
He's
You know,
stuck, and
you
James
know how
is
the team
going
Baker got.
Oh,
Look.
Seamus James. I bet he know James' name now.
I bet a whole lot of people do too. Where they keep on underestimating.
nuts. It felt like a parallel universe. There.
Well, Jameis didn't have anybody to throw the ball to, and that's all he could do. They couldn't run it. So he was placed in a bad situation. Again, that's what we talk about also. We've all said that. Sometimes you just in a horrible situation now as a quarterback. And I'm going to say this. To be honest with you, and Jameis looked good. But you know what? Them boys down there never should have got rid of Teddy Bridgewater in New Orleans.
There were
They should have
some,
got rid of him.
just watching some of the games this last week, there are some quarterbacks out there that absolutely stink for the teams that they're on. That, was it Washington?
Well, I mean, they're at the bottom of. Keep in mind now. He was on campus trying to get his degree.
I'm trying to think who it was that I saw that played last Sunday, one of the early games. The Cincinnati game was it Cincinnati and Minnesota?
Burrow done his thing, man.
Burrow.
Who was the other quarterback there? The Vikings quarterback.
Kirk Cousins.
Cousins. I thought that when I saw him play, I had heard, oh, he's supposed to be pretty. Man, he stunk.
I'm about overpaid.
Overpaid ain't the word for it. He absolutely stunk. It's no wonder
More like
Cincinnati
Boogie
beat him.
Cousins.
It make you think of Tristan Thompson in Cleveland, don't
Yeah.
it? They gave Kirk Cousins that big huge contract, man. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, he reset the bar, man. Like, that joke got broke.
Yes,
off.
and you know what though? All it takes is one good year, man. You get your bread, man.
Mhm.
I don't know that Griffin the third that was for Cleveland. He had gotten when Cleveland inherited him.
He was ruined already.
He was already done.
It was already ruined.
They had one of the cartoonists showed him going into Cleveland Stadium and reaching for the gate and breaking both his legs. He's laying there. I haven't even got on the field yet.
Yeah, he was ruined. He was ruined already. And again, he was. And now you talk about a guy that of course, some of them, and they are. I mean, just such great college quarterbacks. But the thing about it is, with him, first off, he was too small, and then someone didn't tell this young man, look, dude, this is the NFL, man. You go down. You go down. Don't take those hits. You the quarterback. We don't need you to take those hits.
Mhm.
If Tom Brady see he gonna take one, Tom Brady will go down first. He ain't playing because why you waste all this on a? It's again, I agree with you to the fact that he's a very intelligent quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
look, can we?
let's get into a little fun thing here. Our picks from last week.
Before we do that, can we please talk about Ohio State just a little
Again.
Go on,
Okay.
frying pan to the fire.
I don't know what to say about him, but you go ahead and talk about him. I'll listen.
So remember we were thinking, hey, we were questioning their ranking. And so now I'm thinking, okay, they only pushed them back to 9. I'm thinking, is that kind of generous? Do we think they should be maybe a little further out than 9?
Yeah, I think they've actually changed their defensive coordinator. I think this week. So
I had heard up here that they were talking about changing out of Combs,
Yeah.
and
So-
if they've done that, that may get a little bit better.
So do we think that they're going to beat Michigan this year? The biggest rivalry in the Big Ten? One of the
biggest rivalry in all sports.
If
It used
it's
to be anyway.
Yeah. So do we think they're going to beat them this year based on so far?
From what I saw, man,
Offensively speaking, yes, but defensively, no.
They're not beating Michigan.
they're not stopping nobody.
Yeah. What's the name? His job is saved now because he's going to spank Ohio State. I mean, they might not be able to beat him after you.
I wouldn't put the bank on it.
You know, maybe they'll dig down deep and play better for that game. But I say this, Nate, you're absolutely right in the fact that because when we looked at it, defense was it was ugly, horrible.
Yeah, horrible. Yeah, it's
And
awful.
it just don't look like
It doesn't look like an Ohio
they
State
don't look
team,
like a
does it?
top a Power 5 team.
No, and it doesn't look like what we're used to seeing in Ohio State. I don't like anything. I don't, I'm sorry, the young quarterback, his decision making is awful. I know he's a young quarterback, but so was all of the other guys that came there before they left.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I feel for him.
Nate. Now I didn't know that, but Sean said he threw for almost 500 yards.
Oh, that's wonderful, and we saw that.
That's all.
But just even they were talking about, even for example, I mean, come on, man, plays when he should have took a shot down the field, man. He's trying to, I mean, don't even know handing it off, and it's like you take a shot down the field, okay, you like 4th and 17, and the clock, you got a matter of, hey, it's time to close it out now. Throw the shot down the field, you hand it off to somebody, they ain't running for the first down.
You know what he's doing though? You know what he's doing there?
You
know what he's doing there? Because when you throw it down the field,
he's protecting his percentages. Right.
Exactly.
And
Because
I get that. And I'm not that.
worst case scenario, Nate, that's like punting the ball away. But he's protecting his percentages.
Yeah, but see,
it
resulted in the score the other way. But see, I'm like, man, he's not. I'm not feeling him, man. I'm sorry. And the caller last week asked, and now after second take on him, but I'll wait till another take on him to look at him again. But right now, I'm out. I'm out on him. He's a little bit.
You got that other kid that come out of Texas here is waiting in the balance. I think that Quinn Ewers, he's the number 1 rated quarterback coming out in college in a while. They're saying he may even be better than Trevor Lawrence. So
now, and I'm gonna say this, like I say, I think the quarterback is he's okay, but I'm not saying that he didn't look horrible to me by no means. It's so many other things to me that's just disgusting. Horrible. I can't watch that defense play.
Yeah, they're horrible.
I can't watch that defense play. We got some teams here in the state of Texas, some high school teams that could score on that defense.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Now, mind you, they're one of the best teams in the country, but yeah, they can score on that defense.
all right.
I guess enough said. enough said about them before we get here teary-eyed talking about that mess. That was so sad. That was like squeezing lemon juice in my eyes, or onion mixed with lemon juice in my eyes, man. Man, that was awful.
All right. So let's talk about our picks from last week. So far, Gordon and Nate are in a tie for first.
That's because he following my lead.
Yeah, with 11 wins each, and then you got my dad at 9, and then I'm
Pittsburgh
at 7.
Steelers, baby.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Do like Big Bro, man. You just do like Big Bro.
So now let's get to our,
One game does not a season make.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh shoot.
So let's get to the picks for this week coming up. Let me bring up the schedule here.
So what about the Pittsburgh Steelers while he doing that?
Who? I don't watch Pittsburgh Steelers. They're irrelevant to me, man.
Then they beat your boys, man. You thought had such a good defense?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
I had to do that. Sorry.
No, they got an easy touchdown on that block punt though.
What a difference in one lucky play make.
Because otherwise it was tied. It would have been a tie score. One play made that game there.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with this week's games. We got New England at the Jets.
I'm taking. Oh shoot. Oh man. Who you taking? Who y'all want?
Who y'all want?
We probably gonna all take the same one, but who you want?
I'm going New England on this one.
Yeah, I think I'll go New England.
Everybody's going New England on that. The Jets, man, nobody takes them serious. Right?
Even though I hate to pick the mumbler.
Okay. Next game is Denver at Jacksonville.
Actually, Denver's coming on, and it's a West Coast team. I'll take them.
Okay. What about you, Gordon?
You know, I didn't really watch Jacksonville.
They lost.
Okay, you know, hey, look, man.
They got beat by Houston by quite a bit last week.
And yeah, okay, I'm taking Denver.
So I heard they bringing back Tebow to take that quarterback spot back.
They're gonna take him. Would you take him over Baker?
Yeah.
Boy, you lie like a cheap rug.
And what does it say on his
Man of God. Ooh.
Man
Man of God. Ooh.
All right, we got the next game is Buffalo at Miami. That should be a good game here.
After Pittsburgh put it on them, they should be really full of fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
They're playing at Miami though.
Miami's decent team.
I'm. You know what, man?
So you think they're gonna lose 2 start up the season?
They playing in Miami. They playing there, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Buffalo. But Miami was. I'm just going for what last year they were a playoff team.
What was Buffalo?
Yeah, so it was Buffalo.
Yeah, but I'm saying Miami shouldn't be a pushover. They playing at home too.
I think it's going to be close, and I'll take Buffalo there.
Yeah, you gotta have Buffalo.
I think it's going to probably be a 3-point game or less.
I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, they ain't coming out.
Maybe a field goal. We've seen some. We've seen some close ones here.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys are going what? Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll take Buffalo.
Who you taking, Sean?
Taking home.
Taking Miami?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm taking Miami.
Sean taking Miami because they're home, which I was leaning on the fence on that one. I think Miami. I think you guys underestimated Miami.
Buffalo ain't coming out 0-2 to start the season.
All right, the next game is San Fran at Philly. Both played pretty good games last week. So.
I'm taking San Fran, man.
So you don't think Philly's legit now?
I never really called them legit.
Risen from the ashes.
San Fran barely beat Detroit last week because San Fran was up big in that game and then almost lost it there.
I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
I think they're ignorant. They're trying to prove that they can just they can run that ball. Man, you got two good quarterbacks, man.
So you're taking San Fran?
I'm taking San Fran. I'm going against the odds there.
And so what are you taking? Who are you taking, Nate?
I got to go with, man. I think that San Fran will play toward their strengths this week, and that is their quarterbacks. So I got to go with San Fran.
Dad?
Be stupid
Is Garoppolo still playing there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll take him. That's a West Coast team too.
Okay.
What's the deal with you and these West Coast teams?
I'm going to tell you that's 35 or 40 years of experience there. These are the West Coast teams. When they play East Coast, they'll beat them damn near every time.
But I can tell you this: it's going to be a very close game.
And that was what I went with last week, and I got 9 wins out of it.
All right. So we got LA at the Colts, the Rams.
I'm taking LA. Hands down. That's me.
Okay.
Can we come back to that one?
LA and the Colts.
Yeah. Colts are not looking good this year, so I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
Matthew Stafford had a good game.
So I got to pick right now. Can I give me a couple seconds? Yeah, Rams. Rams.
I love it.
I needed the music.
All right, then the next game we got is Vegas at Pittsburgh.
I'm going with Bird, boy.
Okay.
I'll take Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
I'm going with the Bird.
Vegas, baby. I'm going Vegas.
I saw Vegas beat the Ratbirds. I'll take them. If they beat the Ratbirds, they'll beat Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is the thing about Pittsburgh. They are a great early season team.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with Pitt on this one, barely. And then so there's Vegas. All right, the next game we got is Bengals at the Bears.
Man, look, I'm going with Joseph Burrow, baby. Just because of the quarterback. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you. So now here's the tricky thing. This is what makes this raw. If they swap up, and Justin Fields is actually playing next week, then I'd be inclined to switch my pick. But as it is now, man, I'm going with Cincy.
Okay.
You remember time Bob Boucher showed up and won the Bourbon Bowl? I'm going with Cincinnati. Oh, where are they playing at?
Playing at Chicago.
Oh, they're playing in Chicago? Yeah, I'm still going with Cincinnati. It's time for them to win.
I'll take Cincinnati.
Okay. All right, the next game after that is our Houston at Cleveland.
We all know who I'm picking.
We're going. I'm taking Cleveland. You probably shouldn't take Cleveland, Nate.
That's a hard pick for me.
Yeah, don't take Cleveland.
That's a tough pick.
Yeah, don't take Cleveland.
Who got that bum at quarterback? That's a hard pick, man. Oh God.
Okay, he's going against Cleveland.
No. That's my team, so it's hard for me to go against them. But my heart ain't just it's telling me.
You got Tyrod Taylor going.
I mean, so you got two even quarterbacks, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
At least even.
Okay, so who has
two even quarterbacks?
Who has the best team?
So who did who did Baker replace? Tyrod.
Good point, Sean.
That's kind of
one for Sean.
that's kind
Now
of
they get a bonus.
look, that's kind of motivation for Tyrod.
And they playing in Cleveland.
It'll be a close game, man.
I don't think it's gonna be close. I wonder what the line is. You want to get some
Nope.
on this action on the line on this one?
Can't gamble on them dudes, Cleveland, man. They're too sporadic, man.
All right, so we got
Tear you up. You talking noise? I tear you up.
All right, so the next game is New Orleans at the Panthers.
I'm going with Nolans.
Okay. Yeah, Darnold did look good though against the Jets last week. So
Who you going with?
And I'm gonna go with Saints though, barely. What about you, Dad?
New
Is
Orleans
New Orleans
did
playing at home? Oops, sorry.
New
I'm
Orleans
sorry,
did pretty.
that was ugly.
New Orleans did pretty well last week. I'll take them.
Who?
New Orleans.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
I already said that. Nolans.
Okay.
Can't say New Orleans. Gotta say Nolans.
Yeah. Nate said the NO right from the start. He said the NO on this one.
Okay. Next game, Minnesota at Arizona. Arizona. For me.
Man, Kyler Murray, man, that boy's doing some things, man.
You mean you don't like Minnesota?
I like Kyler Murray, man. Hey, man,
Right.
another one of them Oklahoma products.
I know, man. They balling, boy.
Oh, him and Baker, huh?
No.
He was there. Hey, Baker come out the year before he did there.
Yeah.
All right, so Arizona, everybody.
Arizona.
Okay. Next game then it would be Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
Do Atlanta still play?
Everybody's taking Tampa Bay.
Does Atlanta
Nobody's
still play?
taking Tampa. We're not going to waste any more time on that.
Do they still play football in Atlanta?
Boy, you know what? I think that's the only other team that has worse defense than Ohio State.
All right, so the next game is Tennessee at Seattle.
I got to take. It's gonna be good. I like Seattle, man.
Okay.
Oh, this is a
That should be
dilemma
a
for
good
me.
game, though, I think. Let's see.
This is a dilemma for me because you got a West Coast team, and you got you got Tennessee, who I think is pretty good.
Tennessee got blown out last week, so against Arizona. So I'm going to go with I'm going with Seattle.
I gotta go with the stud quarterback.
I hear you. That he is.
So who are you going with, Dad?
I'll take the West Coast team, Seattle.
Okay. All right, next game then is our Dallas Cowboys versus the LA Chargers.
I'm going with Dallas on this one, even though the defense is hurting, and they were the worst defense last year.
They loaded, man. They didn't feel that, man. They made all them picks and stuff, man. Dallas
What
loaded,
picks?
man.
What picks?
Man, they got all them players in. They team loaded up,
What
man.
picks, man?
Dallas, man.
What picks? They got one great pick this past year.
A group of underachievers, man. They supposed to have won.
Parsons.
Yeah.
That was the worst defense. I'm just saying what they were last year. And they got pretty much the same cats out there. Now,
Yeah,
I'm going to say this.
Slim
I'm
down.
hoping, I'm thinking, and this is where reason I'm going to pick Dallas. Because I'm going to say, first off, they're going to be able to run the ball against them. Then the other thing is this. Dallas's linebacker core is going to show out. The linebacker core is going to have to show out because they got they got some no names. Oh, and what's the name is back? Zach Martin is back on offense, so that's going to help them out on running the ball.
I like Dallas. I'm not so sure that they're going to be any better running the ball than they've been. But
I think they're going to be better this week.
Trust Dak, though.
I think they're going to be better this week. and 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 I'm gonna tell you this: they're gonna get over 80 yards running the ball.
As
They'll probably
as
get
a
100
group.
yards running the ball this week. They'll have probably 100 yards rushing.
I'll take Dallas too.
Yeah. Dallas looked so good, man, that first game until
They did. They did. They looked great. Defense looked good, even.
Backing
What's
up,
that?
backing up for a second while he's writing. The Houston Texans 1-0 are double-digit underdogs for
against
their matchup against the Cleveland Browns. 12.5 points.
They say it's gonna be a close game.
it'll be a close game.
So Nate, you don't want to get it
The
the
total
spread, man?
total points is set for 48.
Nate said Cleveland by 1.
Cleveland by 1 because all of Baker's poor decisions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas on this one, but it's gonna be closer than what people think. I think because of that young quarterback there, the Chargers and Herbert. That's another quarterback nobody really talks about is that kid that plays for the Chargers.
I think Chargers is gonna have a good team this year. They're gonna surprise a whole lot of people.
All right, then the next game, the Sunday night game, which is should be a pretty good game, and it's Kansas City at Baltimore.
Oh man.
I'm going KC. I'm going
Oh,
KC. They
Baltimore
gonna
has too
beat
many
the brakes off them boys.
Yeah, they too. Baltimore has too many injuries.
Yeah.
Man, they don't. I mean, everybody. I mean, they just something wrong there, man.
Yeah. They were trying to pull in running backs. They ain't have run. Matter of fact, I think you could have tried out.
So you guys going KC?
I
Yeah,
got
you
KC.
got to.
Yeah,
man.
KC here.
Yeah, they too beat up, man. I don't know what's going on. Something's going on, man. That training squad that died of whatever, something's going on. Too many of these Maryland crabs. I don't know what's going on. That's messed up.
And then you got the Monday night game, which is Detroit at Green Bay.
Oh God.
Green Bay, I get it. Detroit's terrible, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I guess I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay because that stud Aaron Rodgers, man. I know he did it up last week.
You know what? Aaron may be just trying to do this, man, so that they'll make sure he's out of there. But I'm gonna tell you something. He keep playing like that, he'll definitely be out of there.
You know what though? I think the all he got, I wouldn't want to be the next team playing him right now.
And he's like, man, ain't no big deal. I ain't worried about it. Just one game. That's what he said. And for me, worry about. Don't mean nothing to me.
And that's the way it should be. That's what it should be. It's like, you lose that first game, somebody got to lose.
All right. And then the last but least game, which would be the Thursday night game, we'll pit Carolina at Houston.
I'm going with Houston.
Wow.
I'm going to say Carolina. I'm going with.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but you got to consider that Houston is going to have Cleveland Sunday, and then whoever else is probably Carolina's.
Turn around for them. Yeah, because they're gonna play. They're gonna be in a.
That's short week for them. It is.
Yeah, because
Carolina's going to have them for supper.
Yeah, because we got a hard-fought game with Cleveland. Going to be a close one there, and so that turnaround after that hard-fought close game with Cleveland, it's going to be probably hard to overcome, and so they'll probably fall to Carolina.
So you going Carolina?
Who does Carolina play this week?
Carolina plays. Hold on a second. I gotta go back.
That's their.
Carolina plays New Orleans this week.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'll take Carolina.
You figure they're gonna be mad, huh?
Yeah.
If they lose to Nolans.
Okay. So that's the picks for this week. And Next one, the first part.
So that 1 point loss, Houston gonna suffer to Cleveland. They're gonna be pretty beat up going against Carolina. It's gonna be a duel. Ted versus
11 and a half, man. They favored by 11 and a half, though.
it don't matter.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think it'll be that much, but
It's
I think
on
it'll be by
paper-
about 7.
On paper, Cleveland should win by 30.
No,
Yeah, they should.
No.
That team is loaded.
Hell, they
But
got
they-
him by 12, and Vegas has them at 12 and a half.
Vegas has them at 12 and a half, and I think it's gonna be probably closer to 10 points.
As soon as the game get anything get close at all, then the noose is around the neck. The choke starts. And so that's the thing, man.
All right.
You
So
think Cleveland should win by 30 on paper. You're like Skip Bayless. Yeah, if we win by 30.
Yeah, but he won't put his money where his mouth is when they start talking about that, though. He won't take that.
yeah, so
All right, let's wrap this up for this week. Thanks to everybody for tuning in with us, and hope you enjoyed it. I'm getting to enjoy these picks. It's pretty fun. And of course, if you have any comments, if you're listening to us on YouTube, give us a subscribe there, and let us know you're there. If you're listening by way of Spreaker or any of the social media, take and drop us a line. Let us know you're there, and we will go ahead and continue this next week. Hopefully, I pick up my two lost points there, so I can get in with the rest of these guys.
It was good. Nate, it was good sparring with you today, man. I tore you up.
No, man. You know what I'm gonna do?
Once again, Big Brother wins.
Please,
Big Brother wins.
please. Look, and not only that, next week, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull some of the stuff and give you some videos so you can see all the missed passes that should have been made. The reason why Cleveland lost that game.
Pressure. It's called pressure.
Hey,
That's the
pressure.
you gotta give it up to that defense. Pressure make a water pipe burst, man.
No, it don't, man.
It doesn't
Nope.
do a hell of a lot for Cleveland either.
Pressure. They could send that pressure on that water pipe, man. The boy's coming at you. Get happy feet.
no limit on that man of God, baby.
Yeah. He got whooped today, boy. I whooped that.
Please.
Keep your head on, because you don't want him to see them knots up there, man.
Golly.
I won today.
he probably really believed that.
Bing, bang, 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 boom.
But look, because it's his birthday, I'm gonna let him save face and believe.
Say, man. Say. After the show today, he gonna put a piece of bologna up there with his eye.
All right, y'all have a good week. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Peace.
Man,
I'll leave the
I think
room up
the show
some.
was good today, man. We were going at it, man.
Yeah, that does man. You got Cleveland, and this was an awful week between Cleveland and Ohio State, man. What is wrong with you?
Ohio State is what made it off. They didn't even show up.
Cleveland should have won that game.
This has been a Crooked River Media production.